But we'll continue the conversation from this end as we x-ray, review, and analyze the assault on the NLC National President, Comrade Joe Ajaero. That incident took place in Imo State. Imo State is one of the states where there will be an off-cycle election next Saturday, this Saturday as a matter of fact, as well as Kogi and Bayelsa State. Well, a lot of questions or issues have been coming forth since that incident took place, which led to the NLC president being hospitalized for some few moments just to get some medical attention. But Labour is threatening fire and brimstone in the last couple of days. We have with us here a Labour leader. I'd like to thank very especially former Permanent Secretary in Edo State, Comrade Bashiru Kadri. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Duke. Quite a while now.
Yes, good to have you here.
You too, good to see you.
Okay. Give us your background knowledge about this crisis that took place in Imo State between the NLC on the one hand, the police on the other hand, the NLC president on one hand, and the authorities of the police on the other hand, and then of course between the NLC president on another hand and the Imo State government on the other hand.
Well, Duke, what happened in Imo State is a sorry situation. It's sorry because I thought that at this age we will be more civil in our activities as government. We were more responsible as government to respond to our responsibility as a government. Today what we find, though I'm not surprised because historically, if you take historical reference, you realize that the current political dispensation was a function of suspicion that the military were not going to leave. So what you find, you simply find that people who are not too stable took the stage. Today they don't want to go. They remain there as, if you like, call them, they want to become emperors and make a dynasty for themselves. This was a premise. But you see, the truth is that if you look at what happened in Imo State, it is something that you begin to ask questions if this man understood history and where he's coming from. I'm making a precedent. The today democracy was a function and a result of the struggle, the labor movement, and our colleagues that make up the NADECO, if you recall the story. So democracy didn't come from the blues. These are decisions that made democracy work. And what is the subject of discussion here? What did labor do? Simply asking, please pay us our dues. Even God in the books says the laborer deserves his wages. Should we have asked questions to please pay us our salary? Should we have asked questions to say, please, people you ask to go, they cannot go because 15 years in the career is not reasonable for them to go away. What was the reason for them going away? Nobody gave a reason. Duke, I'm surprised that somebody at this age who asked 3,000 people to go home for no reason, just because you said you have a target of 600 million as salary.
Is 600 million or 300 million?
600 million as salary.
Okay.
And that beyond that, you're not going to pay. Not because the guys did any infraction that attracts punishment. Now, I realize that sometimes what we do in this country, we take things with impunity. And I'm thinking that people don't remember that history is a recorder. And to recall, history will give you a clear picture of what happened yesterday. Now, taking us to the issue, the Labour Congress went to ask questions. Please give our people what is due to them. After several notices over time, they give you notice, you will not respond to the notice. And I expected that because Ajaero is from the East, this man would have taken advantage of this relationship to say, my brother, please, this is my challenge. Let's talk this thing over. And I have people asking questions, the time is not ripe. What time is ripe? When will the time be ripe? If not now. If the man knows that salary has not been paid to people who he has asked to go home for no reason, I'm not too sure that if this Uzodinma himself was a worker in Imo State and he suffered the same fate, whether he will go to bed and sleep. I'm not too sure that if his brother or his mother was part of these people Uzodinma would have gone to bed to sleep. I'm not too sure. Why can't we be fair to others? If we are privileged in life, let's make history so that history will keep us alive and strong. Today is the turn. Emperor Seleucus told us, Emperor Seleucus of Ethiopia, many years ago, today is my turn, tomorrow could be your turn. Let's come together and fight this Holocaust.
Okay.
So the point I'm making is this, is that today, I even heard recently now that the community where Ajero came from has been attacked.
In Imo State?
In Imo State. I just heard it in the news. I don't know whether it is true.
Okay.
And what that translates to is that this man is dastardly and is dangerously driving everybody that is suspected to be his opponent. And by the way, we're not contesting. Ajero is comfortable with his position as president of the NLC.
As president of NLC...
It does not require Imo State.
As president of NLC and also someone from that state...
Exactly.
Couldn't he, I'm talking about the NLC president, couldn't he, I'm sure he would have been able to adopt another strategy to interface with the governor rather than choosing the path of, aligning with labor leaders in the state to stage a protest.
Can I inform you, my brother? You will know how much attempts were made and they were rebuffed. In labor, we don't just go to the street. We don't just go and plan strike. We don't. It's not our tradition. It's not a convention. There's an ILO regulation. An ILO position is that dialogue first, dialogue second, dialogue last, except dialogue fails. Except attempt to say, please, let's talk fails. And now what has happened is that you've been given notices over and over and again. And you are just forget the notices. You don't even get hoot. Before NLC now said they were going to go on strike at this hour, you should know that there were several attempts to talk to Uzodinma. Several attempts. And he refused to listen to any of them. Because for him, it's cast in iron. And I'm asking you, Duke, if you were the NLC and a leader of a labor movement, will you have sat back and keep quiet? After several attempts to talk, and the man refused to talk, you will not go and make questions and ask questions as it ought to have been. And the issue at stake here is that Ajero was in secretariat. He has not even gone outside. But he was attacked by hoodlums, so-called hoodlums by him. And when he was making comment the other day, his comment were betrayers. He made his comment were betrayers. That as the head of security, which means that you are the one who designed the attack on the labor movement. And if at head of security, I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. What was happening when nobody was in the streets? They were only confined to discuss what do we do next. We're in this country. Even at the military level, we didn't have this kind of brutalization. He has decided that what he's going to do, he does not give a hoot who is involved. As far as he's concerned, he's the governor of Imo State, and therefore, he must do anything he wants to do. But he forgets that time is moving. Time is moving. That office is not a permanent office. It's not cast in iron. He will come back and meet us in the streets. He will not fly away from this country. And if he do, there are in other countries, there are labor leaders who are waiting for him. He will be reminded this story that is happening now.
What do you make of the insinuations in some quarters that there was a court order preventing the labor from protesting in Imo State, and that seems to have been defied, and that was what was responsible for this assault meted on the NLC president?
Beautiful, beautiful. Are you aware that they said they were protecting the NLC president? Are you aware they said so?
The security agency
yes.
said so, yes.
You are aware?
Yes.
Protecting him from what?
From possible
because
attack.
They were informed. They were put on notice before that thing happened. Like I told you, we are not people, we are not brigadage. The truth is that you are talking about notice. It's a Jankara notice. How can a notice be signed on weekend? Duke, let's be realistic with ourselves.
But you also know that the Southeast has been a hotbed of violent attack.
And that is why Uzodinma would have avoided this position. That when he was told severally, with over time and time, he would have avoided it. Uzodinma would have avoided it by responding the way he should respond. Uzodinma had all the opportunities to respond, to correct the wrongs. He has not denied that people are not being asked to go home. He has not denied it. He has not denied 3,000 workers are not denied to go home. He has not denied it. He has not denied the fact that he is not responsible for workers' comfort. He has not denied it. And of what use is labor if labor cannot react? That's the question. Of what use? Each time we talk about this, people try to beg the question. And that is why the country is where we are. We must speak the truth. And no matter who got his what. The time is now. Now, I tell you this, Free Duke, that each time this man is discussed, is asked, he has refused to respond to all the requests, both letters, correspondences. Labour will not go to strike. Labour only went on strike when you have refused to listen. You are aware that Labour went on strike in this country recently. Is it not true? Did you hear that Tinubu went and collect all the armies to go and beat up the people on the street? Did you hear that? You were aware. Recently in this country, there was a strike. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. And it was total grounding. Nobody was brutalized by Tinubu. But this man, merchant of debt, decided that what he does is, I don't care what to do. I will act. I'm the governor. I'm the chief security officer. But very soon he'll be out of the office. And he will meet the people he is attacked now in the street. And I don't know what he will tell them. Oh, it was a mistake. Oh, you know, it was all, that is governance. You know, it was all my fault. So the point is that each time we do anything, we forget that people are taking notes and history recording us carefully. When we come out, we now begin to blame everything and anything. Why will Uzodinma not listen to his people, who is supposed to provide security for? Why will he become the one to organize talks to keep people, instead of creating security for the people?
But he said they are hoodlums, those who attack the NLC president. They
are hoodlums. Are you aware that the NLC president, they said they were taking him by security, took him away for security reasons. He came out, it was worse. So how do you reconcile that? How do you also reconcile the fact that this same man told you that he cannot sit back and see his state burning, when he knew that the issues were burning all along over how many months? He sat back and kept quiet, nothing was happening. My dear, if you keep quiet not to react as a father in a house, whatever happens to the house, you'll be held responsible singly. And you should be held responsible singly for whatever happens in the house. Mm-hmm. Because as a father, when you hear your children making complaint in the house, at the corner, you have to ask questions. My dear, what is the problem? And you resolve the matter. Not that when the matter is already out of hand, you begin to say that, I will kill you, I will do this. Which father will carry his gun and start killing his own children, if not a satanic father? And that's exactly what this man is doing. So my own position on this matter is that, look, Uzodinma should sit back and ask himself whether it's fair to God, not even to man. Why did Labour have to wait for over 20 months of unpaid salary? Can I ask you, sir? Before taking this action? Beautiful. How many, what is appropriate in time? Does it tell me no time? Your hunger, does it no time? It doesn't. Beautiful. So what are we talking about? If I've been giving you notices and you refuse to respond to the notices, I thought I would deal with a gentleman, and the man's supposed to be the one I'm supposed to be gently working with. He refused to listen to me. What time is appropriate, more appropriate than now? What time? Tell me what time. Than this hour of election. Tell me what time is appropriate to make the statement and to make the point. If the man over how many months have refused to respond to your correspondences and letters, and he decided that he wants to get, you know, what is even more funny is that he wants to decide who becomes NLC chairman in Imo State. And that was is it an election time for NLC in that state? No, the question is that's the question. Because you just said that he wants to decide because NLC chairman in the state. Yeah, I'm just giving you a tip. That's the beginning of this trouble. Not even now. And NLC said no. You can't decide for us who becomes the leader of this state. I'm just giving you a cumulative because time is not enough for us to run all the historical truth. Okay. And he said no. The NLC is a body. It's not a state body. People have right to contest elections. Absolutely. The way you want to contest election in Imo State. Give us a break. Let us do our job. I'm not too sure that if he's interested in Labour, he would have resigned from governorship and come to Labour and come and contest election as chairman of Imo State NLC. He has the right to do so. Yeah. He has to say, I'm not going to be a governor. I want to become a Labour person. He's go get employment in the state and then contest election and become an NLC chairman. But to tell us that I would tell it is who I want, you must be as chairman. Anyway it happens, it's an aberration. And Imo is not an exception. Okay. Comrade Bashir Kadri, let's look at it from this perspective, because the issue of timing has been a recurring decimal as far as this conversation is concerned. Yes. It's an election year, an off-cycle election, and a time for the Imo people to make a decision whether to reward Governor Hope Uzodinma or to do otherwise, as it were.
there are insinuations of quarters that this action by NLC is to demarket Hope Uzodinma for a second-term re-election.
Can I inform you, sir, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? If a man is supposed to pay workers 20 months salary, what is wrong with that? If he knew that that was important, will he not have acted early enough? What was wrong with that? A man is owing workers salary 20 months salary, standing. And the man says he wants to contest the election. I say workers should not talk. This is the best time to talk. This is the best time to talk. Let us make our statement. If the people she say they want to continue with the man who is an imperial majesty and a czar, he can continue, but would have made a statement. This is the best time, Duke, to do whatever Labour was doing. Other time will not make sense to him. If this thing was done some 12 months ago, it won't make sense to him. He has no stake. Let them, when they finish talking, they just go and keep quiet. This is the best time, Duke. Oh my God. Strategically, this is the best time.
Our election is very unique, or electoral process is very unique.
Yes.
Outcomes are usually determined by, not by popular votes, as it were, sometimes from the law courts, sometimes by other centripetal or centrifugal forces. If you look at the Imo State case, for example, that seems to be what has played out. What's your expectation or expected impact on this whole brouhaha between the government and Labour on the election generally?
Now, I'll tell you, Duke. You see, sometimes I say, I'm a student of history. I tell people, when you say nothing will happen, say something will happen. Never say nothing will happen. No man can say so except God. You cannot say nothing will happen. You cannot say I'm in charge. Only God can say so. And when you keep saying nothing will happen, I'm in charge, you'll be caught napping. See, Duke, if you take the history of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, when he was overthrown, and he was told that the coup is on, he said it's not possible. He was flying from somewhere in Europe and coming back home. He said it's not possible. He meet air. They said, Queen, he said, it's not possible. It's not possible, because for him, it's a successful. Nothing can happen. He was going to be the life president of Ghana. So nothing can happen. Who is the person? Nobody. And they told him, the coup is real, sir. He said, no. Until it became clear to him that the coup was real. And he had to fly to Guinea-Bissau, where he died in exile. This same personality was told. You see, history has a way of repeating itself, and people don't learn from it. There was a Congo bomb attack in Ghana. And that bomb attack was a sign that you were becoming infamous as unpopular. And he didn't take note of it. A young lady brought bucket of flour to him. And inside the flour planted bomb. He was a smart guy. He finished, he was a smart guy. And he saw the bomb and he somersaulted and flogged the flour. The second experience was that inside government house, Nkrumah was a mystical person. And he does regular morning walks from the report before they booked the side chick wrote from Egypt. And he said, he called it Nkrumah the man. And what did he say? When that thing happened, he was just trekking around the compound. At about 5 a.m. on the morning, he comes out to do that walk. On that bare walking, somebody from nowhere crossed if you know Ghana very well, the fence of government house is not a tall fence. It has a short block and a spiral. Somebody jumped through the fence and came and attacked him, one-on-one. Because he was a smart guy, he was able to overcome the guy. And the guy jumped back out of the place. That's a flag star attack. These two signs, historian says, they were symbols that he was becoming unpopular. But he never saw them, because he says he's in charge, nothing will happen. So men should be careful not to say, I'm in charge. And that's exactly what he's doing now, I'm in charge. And let me tell you the truth, sir, is that Nigerian election, yes, what you said now, yes, these are practicals, but there are exceptional cases where such intentions of taking over the elections could not succeed. Edo is one of them. And so on and so forth. So let us not run away from the fact that, yes, these are standard, but there are exceptions. And who says it cannot be an exception? Who says so? With this current situation, who says it cannot be an exception? If the people who are involved, who are now being attacked, and have been asked to keep quiet and being killed, now go back to ballot box and begin to decide that this man should not come back with all the right matters, where do you run to? You see, we should be careful not to undermine. So even a cripple in the house, Duke, a cripple, you are told to be careful not to say, who are you? Because now, who are you now cause trouble? Who are you now cause trouble? A cripple can bring you down and you bend your knees. It's already done, it's not falling again.
The challenges in Imo State, would you say is something we can ascribe to the system that brought Uzodinma to power, or is also a victim of the current economic realities that is bedeviling the country?
Now, every state has its own peculiar problems. But I'm not sure there's any state in the country that have done what Uzodinma have done now in recent times. I'm not sure. And Imo State is not the worst in terms of revenue returns. So if we talk about that, that's not an excuse. The second, sir, is that the way he came in wouldn't have been an issue if his character was not defining who he is. That would not be an issue. But now we're talking about that because his character is defining who he is. And of course, the court has the right to decide what he wants to decide and give decisions. I don't query court decisions. It's purely within their purview to take decisions and drive the process.
Okay.
Not problem at all. But the point is that the character of the man cannot hide. Characters don't hide even in the dustbin. They're like fire. They're like smoke. They don't hide in dustbin. They must come out. And that's exactly what you have just seen. And the people of Imo State are in for serious trouble if this man comes back to power. Because this time, the brutalization will be even double. It is, if you don't follow me, I crush you.
That's speculation.
Speculation, but it's the deduction. It's deduction. It's deduced from what is happening now. If at this level he's doing what he's doing now, who says when he comes, no other challenge again? He's no longer going to be any governor again. He has no challenge again. Just second tenure, and that's the end. Who says what will happen? At that time, not the home, I don't give a hoot. I have no stake. I can do anything I want to do. People of Imo will speak out not too long ago. Watch and see. You'll be hearing stories. Because people are keeping quiet, nobody wants to be hot. But the question is that somebody must be hot for society to come out. Every profession has its own risk.
What makes you think that whatever the Imo people speak will be a true reflection of their wishes and aspirations, against the background that they spoke last time in that state, it didn't come into reality?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have picked what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is this. It is such assumptions that make men fall, and they fall flat. The assumptions that yesterday, this was what happened, and I still go back there. Those assumptions are terrible assumptions. And sometimes you don't cast them in iron. They are just issues that come once in a while. You see, let me tell you, each time people sit on that kind of assumption, you know what they are doing? They are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. It's like a man sitting now on top of this place, an empty space on the ground. It just collapsed in. So for them to say that, oh yes, I will still go back to where I came from, he's just taking God for granted. Be careful. I'm happy you are a Christian. You don't take God for granted. You don't take his benevolence for granted. If he gave you opportunity, he expects you to do something, people to say, God, we thank you for what you have done for us. Not people to say, God, why did you give something to us? If the way he came on board was anything to go by, he would have also listened to people and say, let me take time to give the people comfortable governance. Since the way I came on board was not expected. I was number 4. I was taken as number 1. He should have been humble enough and appreciate God Almighty for God has done for him by giving people what they deserve as government. Not this kind of brutalization and horrible drive. People from Imo will speak. Like I said, it's very shortly they will speak. Whether he wins or not is not my business. My business is that history will record it. And I'm sure Labour is not sleeping.
Okay. If you just join us, it's still TMI on the ITV network. Our guest, Comrade Bashir Kadri, reviewing the alleged assault on the NLC President, Comrade Joe Ajero, in Imo State. What ought to have been a combination of forces just to press home the demands by Labour turned out to be something else, which led to the brutalization of the NLC President. And one issue that has come out strongly in that incident was the role played by the local NLC. There were talks about the fact that there was the court order, which of course restraining the NLC from going ahead with the protest or so, and that wasn't heeded too. And in a sense, it's as though there was no communication between the NLC president and the local NLC on the court order restricting them or restraining them from carrying out the protest. That seems to have been the reason why security agents came to help to salvage the situation by protecting the NLC president against hoodlums attack. But peradventure, before they got there, the attack has already taken place. What do you know about this?
Now, I'll tell you this. You see, anybody can design a story to suit what he wants to tell the people. Okay? The man succeeded in balkanizing the NLC in the States by saying that this is the man I want to become chairman. I said earlier, this is my chairman and nobody else should be chairman. And I say he has no such right to decide. If he wants to become the NLC member, he should come to be an NLC member and contest as chairman. And so long as far as he's not an NLC member, he has no right to decide who becomes the next chairman of NLC. From what we gathered, that the man who was asking for is the person he has decided to be a surrogate. And it doesn't work like that. The workers have a right to choose who becomes their leader.
Okay.
The way the people of Imo have a right to choose who become their leader. The way he went for election, that's the same way people who go to election. And those who wanted to contest, it called one of them and said, don't go and contest. That one said, no, I'm contesting. So for me, all of those stories are just what we call film show. If you like, call them theater designs to placate the reality. The question is that, did he ask 3,000 workers to go home? Was he owing salaries of the workers? These are the questions. Did he pay them? What is the position of workers' welfare in the state? The man in question, Ajero, went there. Ajero was not even in the street. He was in the secretariat of the NLC discussing the issue when hoodlums attacked. And then somebody telling me that he was on the street. Which street was he? Now, the person you said you came to protect as police, when police were informed before that time that this thing was going to happen, they were informed. Okay. NLC put every security agent on notice. Once you send a notice to government, notice also goes straight to security agencies of, look, we are planning to do X, Y, Z. That's why it's called, like, in all our protests, they follow us on the street. To watch carefully. We put them on notice. They were on notice. So to suggest to me that, oh, they were protesting, they were not in the street. It means that there was a design to attack them from the very beginning, because they are aware that they were coming. And by the way, Duke, must you wait until violence takes your state before you begin to act as a governor?
Big question, begging for an answer.
Yes. Must you wait? You were aware of your own worker's salary. You are aware. The people who have been asked to go home, you are aware. Months and months run by, you are aware. Must you wait until violence before you now begin to say you are the governor and want to keep security? What is the best security design? The best security design is to be proactive, not to wait until now you are reactive. It's reactive. It means that there's a lacuna in governance. Okay. The third pattern of the governance system, there's a lacuna. If they are aware that over how many months this matter has been ongoing, I expected that it would have been resolved before now. Why do you have to wait until the workers have to now want to protest before you now start acting? This is the problem. If this thing was not there, it's not like it's a spiritual business. It is an open business. It's in your government. These complaints have been given over how many months? If you claim that, why are they doing it now? Are you not aware that this thing has been on for how many months? What did you do as a governor? Did you act as a governor to change the narrative? Is there anything wrong in not celebrating the governor? This governor is a good governor who pays salaries regularly, who give workers comfort. The workers have been putting everything in their life for your job. All you do is to hold them salary and ask them to go home after 15 years of service. And it does not bother you. I wonder if his son was involved. Of course, his son will not be involved. So this is the question I'm talking about. So when people tell you about timing, oh, the timing is not right. What time is right? What time is right? For a hungry man, what time is right? Other than now.
Okay. Let's quickly talk about some of the insinuations on the part of Labour to go on a strike on the 8th of this month to drive home this point. Are there ways we can engage this issue? Must we always adopt this pathway of strike to be able to press home some of these issues?
Like I said earlier today, Duke, we have been making all this. If see, Labour does all this. What Labour does not do is maybe it does not go into the press to begin to announce. We are giving you notice, so we don't start to, won't start to. No. They write to them formalizing the process.
Okay.
It is when you ignore that By the way, the issue of strike is not even a negativity. It's to draw attention to the lacuna the government is having. And like I told somebody some time ago, I told him, I said, you are a governor. What you know up, I don't know it. But what I know down, you don't know it.
Yeah.
So listen to me to speak to you so that you can make a better government. If you succeed, nobody will give it to me. They will give it to you as a governor.
Absolutely.
So why not listen to opinions when they are being canvassed? People will write formal letters to you. They will talk to you. You won't care about it. Until when it now gets to this point, you begin to now look for reason to give. Oh, it is security challenge. It is this. What was wrong with when you knew that people were being salaried for many months? People were there. You asked to go home. What did you do to address the issues? How did you address them in terms of institutional address? To say, these people that have been asked to go, let's bring them back and look at the issue again. What was the issue around there? And let's see how we can resolve them. We don't celebrate going on protest or strike. We don't. Because it's energy sapping. But it's something we have to do at the last resort. So for anybody to suggest to me that the time was wrong, I said, no, this is the best time. If you mostly want to have a man who will just come and carry gun on their neck, good luck. But this statement is being made already. It's been made already. I think someone I came just now, I read on media that the community of Ajero is being attacked.
Now, do you think that the state chapter of the NLC betrayed their president by reason of how this matter played out?
Now, the issue is this, is that the state chapter of the NLC were there when this matter came on board. So the issue of betrayal doesn't even arise. Not arise at all. We're there. You know, one thing that I scream about some governments is that what they do, they try to balkanize any strong group so that they can have an inlet into the group. That's what they do. But they don't look at how do I benefit from this group and what are they bringing on the table that I will benefit from them.
Okay.
Now, Duke, I tell you, as a governor, if you take Labour and say, Labour, come, let's sit down, I'm the governor of the state, I want us to work together. Labour will not deny you. Labour will not deny you. We have seen cases where Labour stand and say, this is the thing we will have to do. It has happened. Labour will not deny you. What Labour says is that, look, take the welfare of workers as your first line charge. Because this is the machinery of government that drives your government.
Okay. So any end in sight over this issue?
Well, we've not had anything yet.
The election is on Saturday.
Yes. We haven't had anything yet. But the issue is that NLC must take a decision and take it very snap and quick. On Tuesday, they may like going to have a NEC, from what I heard. And that NEC will come up with the results. Whatever results that comes out of that NEC will be implemented.
Can we predict that result?
We are expecting, I am expecting that government at all levels must intervene. Must intervene.
Okay.
If they care about Igbo people, they should intervene. That's the truth of the matter. Because if Labour decide to do what they know how to do better, Igbo State will be grounded.
Okay. Okay, that's a tailored point on the conversation on the assault on the NLC President, Comrade Joe Ajero. Under any guise, under any circumstance, the brutalization is condemnable. I'm very, very certain that there are other ways and means and channels that could have been adopted to address that issue. I hope that Imo State Governor understands the times that we are in, particularly against the background of Saturday's election, and then, of course, what this assault on the NLC President, which is an assault on all the workers in that state and in Nigeria, by extension, means for him as far as the election is concerned. Let's hope he will listen to the voice of reasoning and reach out to the NLC President and find an amicable resolution of the issue. Otherwise, whatever happens during the election, after the election, as it relates to him getting a second term, will have himself to blame. I want to say big thanks to Comrade Bashiru for creating the time to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Duke. It's my pleasure. I hope that reasoning will take precedence over emotions.
Absolutely.
Over emotions, so that we can get a better country.
That's our package for today on TMI on the ITV network. I want to say big thanks to all our crew members for making the show a reality. Have a great week ahead. Bye for now.